Namaste students, my name is JVN's Dr. Neeraj Dholia, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. So today we are going to discuss a topic, fluorescence in situ hybridization. And the abbreviation of the fluorescence in situ hybridization is known as the FISH, FISH fish. Okay, so this belongs to the subject microbial genomics. So here we start. So the fluorescence in situ hybridization is a kind of cytogenic technique. And this cytogenic technique is used fluorescent probes binding parts of the chromosomes to show a high degree of sequence complementary. So it detects the genetic part, gene part, or gene sequence in the test genome. So is the gene is present or not, or the part of a gene is present or not in your sample. So fluorescence microscopy can be used to find out where the fluorescence probe bound to the chromosome. Okay, so this sequence you wish to find, you have the complementary probes against that particular sequence, and this probe is fluorescently labeled. So when the probe is attached to the its complementary sequence, you can detect the presence of that particular sequence through the help of the fluorescence microscopy. So this technique provides a novel way for researchers to visualize and map the genetic material in an individual cell, and including specific genes or portions of gene. So it is an important tool for understanding a variety of chromosomal abnormalities and other genetic mutations. Different from most other techniques used for chromosome study, FISH has no need to be performed on cells that are actively dividing. It makes it a very versatile procedure. So you can use the procedure for almost all types of cells. So what we do in this, so we have the gene of interest. We cut it by the DNases, and by through the procedure of Nick translation, we generates the probes, and we attach the fluorescent labels on that specific in this prepared probe. Now we tag the cells in which you want to um, check the presence of that particular gene. You denature the gene or the genome of the interested cells. Then you perform the hybridization experiment, and on the denatured cells or denatured DNA, you provide the labeled probes. And if the sequence is present there, the probes will bind, and through the detection system, you will identify the position of the gene if it is present in the cell. Okay, so this is the brief of the procedure. So the fish is useful, for example, to help a researcher identify where a particular gene falls within an individual chromosome. Okay, so you can know two things. First, the presence of the specific gene. Is the specific gene is present or not in that particular cell? And second, if it is present, you can locate the position. Okay, so where the position of gene is there in the genome? Is it extracellular or a cytoplasmic gene? Is it the main part of the genome? And make how what so what is the procedure, or how to perform it one by one? We will discussing here these steps. So first of all, make a probe. Okay, so you have to get ready with the probe for the gene of interest you want to check. So make a probe complementary to the known sequence. When making the probe, label it with a fluorescent marker. You can use the fluorescein or other fluorescent dyes by incorporating nucleotides that have the marker attached to them. Then put the chromosome on a microscopic slide, and after that denature the chromosome. Then denature the probe also, and add it to the microscopic slide where the denatured chromosome is available, and allow the probe hybridize to its complementary site. Then wash off the excess probe and observe the chromosome under the microscope. Washing is required to wash out the non-hybridized probes. So probes which are not attached to the complementary sequences may create noise in the images. We have to wash out the excess probes which are present on the slide and that are not binded to the chromosome. So the probe will show as one or more fluorescent signals in the microscope, depending on how many sites it can hybridize to. So maybe that the gene is located at more than one places. Okay, it may be present in the duplicate or more than two. So the probe will bind at the places where the genes are present. Okay, so what you did, you first you put the chromosomes on the slide, and then you do the DNA unmasking, means you denatured the DNA. After that, you add the probe to the target denatured DNA, and you also denatured the probe before putting on the slide. Then the probe and target DNA hybridization process will happen on the slide, and finally you use the detection system to identify the presence and position of the gene. Image analysis on the fluorescent microscope can be done. Okay, so this was about the fluorescent in situ hybridization procedure. Now we will be talking about the applications of the fish. Okay, so procedure is clear. Now the application. So fish is widely used for several diagnostic as well as research applications. Okay, so identification of numerical and structural abnormalities, means if any abnormality is there. First, is there any abnormality? You can find out using the fish. If it is present, at what amplitude, means you can also find out the frequency of the abnormality, is where for example, if the abnormality or the gene is changed from at 3 different places, and you have the probe for that specific mutation, then the probe will bind at the 3 different places, and you can find that okay, so the mutation is occurred at 3 places. So presence as well as the numerical value, means the frequency you can also know. Okay, so second application is the characterization of marker chromosome. You can characterize the marker chromosome. Then monitoring the effect of therapy. Suppose you are having any long-term therapy, and you wish to know the effect of therapy on the chromosome. So that is also possible by the fish. Then tracing the origin of cells after bone marrow transplantation. Okay, so you put the bone marrow transplantation, you do the bone marrow transplantation, the stem cells which creates the new or originates or forms the new cells, and you find out that the new cells and the old cells in the body. Okay, so you can trace the origin of cells, means the cells are originated from its original cell or the transplanted cells. Okay, so you can identify that. Then identification of regions of deletion or amplification. Again, this is the change in the gene or the genome. So the change you can identify, the change may be insertion, deletion, amplification, or mutation, maybe anything. So you can identify the regions of the deletion or amplification. Then detection of chromosome abnormalities in non-dividing or terminally differentiated cells, and determination of lineage involvement of the clonal cells. If you put so there are many progenitor cells in our body, and on the basis of that we have different types of cell in our body. So we can search or we can identify that this tissue have the cells and what is the origin of that particular cells. So you can identify the origin of that cells. Okay, so moreover it has many applications in the research also. So identification of non-random chromosome arrangement, and identification of translocation molecular breakpoints, then identification of commonly deleted regions, then gene mapping. Gene mapping is again an important procedure. Okay, so utilizing the fish, you can also map the genes. Okay, then characterization of somatic cells hybrids, then identification of amplified genes, then study the mechanism of rearrangements. Okay, so fish is also used to compare the genomes of two biological species to deduce the evolutionary relationship. Okay, so there are different types of probes are used in the fish, and they are depend on their application. Okay, so the locus specific probes are there, alphoid or centromeric repeat probes are there, whole chromosome probes are there. Okay, so locus specific probe bind to a particular region of a chromosome, and this type of probe is useful when researchers have isolated a small portion of a gene and want to determine on which chromosome the gene is located. At that a specific application, you will use the locus specific probe. Then alphoid or centromeric repeat probes are there. They are generated from the repetitive sequence found in the middle of each chromosome, and researchers use these probes to determine where an individual has the correct number of chromosomes. These probes can also be used in combination with the locus specific probes to determine whether an individual is missing genetic material from a particular chromosome. Then there are whole chromosome probe are also there, and are actually collection of smaller probes, each of which bind to a different sequence along the length of a given chromosome. So using multiple probes labeled with a mixture of different fluorescent dyes, scientists are able to label each chromosome in its own unique color. So the resulting full color map of the chromosome is known as the spectral karyotype. So whole chromosome probes are particularly useful for examining the chromosomal abnormalities. For example, when a piece of one chromosome is attached to the end of the another chromosome. So this was about the fluorescence in situ hybridization, and hope you are satisfied with this tutorial session. If you have any query, you can write in the comment box. And this session is powered by Digital Version 2, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Thank you.